Well, let me, I guess, read this chapter, Daniel chapter 4. And then I'll explain the chart that you see behind me. What it is, the chart behind me is, you see, the genetic color code of two different peoples. The Gentiles is the one have the less pigmentation, which many call a white race. But the Hebrews is the one more darker race. They are the one we call, the one with the lighter color skin we call Gentile. They are the Gentiles, but the one with the darker, within the high pigmentation and the flush, they are called the Hebrews. Sorry if I misquoted that, but I must kind of slow myself down and try to get this right. Well, Nebuchadnezzar was the king of the Chaldees who had besieged Judea, the house of God. Now, but I'll read the verse here, chapter 4. This is taken from Daniel chapter 4 because this is one of the formulas in which God spoken of, which would take place. And what this does, it transcends into the world today of the United States of America and the United Nations, what they would do and what brought them over to the Middle East. Nebuchadnezzar, the king, unto all the peoples, nations, and languages that dwell in all the earth. Peace be multiplied unto you. I thought it God to show the signs and wonders that the high God has wrought towards me. How great are his signs, and how mighty are his wonders. His kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and his dominion is forever, generations to generation. I, Nebuchadnezzar, was at rest in my house and flourishing in my palace. I saw a dream which made me afraid, and the thoughts upon my bed and the vision of my head troubled me. Therefore made I a decree to bring in all the wise men of Babylon before me, that they might make known unto me the interpretations of the dream. Then came in the magicians, the astrologers, the Chaldees, and the soothsayers, and I told the dream before them, but they did not make known unto me the interpretation thereof. But at the last Daniel came in before me, whose name was Belshazzar, according to the name of my God, and in whom is the spirit of the holy gods. And before him I told the dream, saying, verse 9, chapter 4, Daniel, O Belshazzar, master of the magicians, because I know that the spirit of the holy gods is in thee, and no secrets trouble thee. Tell me the vision of my dream that I have seen, and the interpretations thereof. Thus were the visions of my head in my bed. I saw and behold a tree in the midst of the earth, and the height thereof was great. The tree grew and was strong, and the height thereof reached unto the heavens, and the sight thereof to the end of all the earth. The leaves thereof were bare, and the fruit thereof much, and in it was meat for all. The beasts of the fields had shattered under it, and the fowls of the heaven dwelt in the bowl thereof, and all flesh was fed of it. I saw in the vision of my head upon my bed, and behold, a watcher and an holy one came down from heaven. He cried aloud and said thus, hew down the tree, and cut off his branches, shake off his leaves, and scatter his fruit, lest the beasts get away from under it, and the fowls from its branches. Nevertheless, leave the stump of his roots in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, and the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts and the grass of the earth. Let his heart be changed from man's, and let a beast's heart be given unto him, and let 7 times pass over him. This matter is by the decree of the watcher, and the demand by the word of the holy ones, to the intent that the living may know that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will, and setteth up over it the basin of men. This dream I, King Nebuchadnezzar, have seen. Now thou, O Belshazzar, declare the interpretation thereof. For as much as all the wise men of my kingdom are not able to make known unto me the interpretation, but thou art able, for the spirit of the holy gods is in thee. Then Daniel, whose name was Belshazzar, was astonished for 1 hour, and his thoughts troubled him. The king spake and said, Belshazzar, let not the dream or the interpretation thereof trouble thee. Belshazzar answered and said, My lord, the dream be to them that hate thee, and the interpretation thereof to thy enemies. The tree that thou sawest, which grew and was strong, whose height reached into the heaven, and the sight thereof to all the earth, whose leaves was fair, and the fruit thereof much, and it was meat for all. Under the beast, under which the beasts of the field dwelt, and upon whose branches the fowls of the heavens had their habitation. Heaven had their habitation. It is thou, O king, that art grown and become strong, for thy greatness is grown and reached unto heaven, and thy dominion to the end of earth. And whereas the king saw a watchman and a holy one coming down from heaven, and saying, Hew the tree down and destroy it, yet leave the stump off the roots. Therefore all in the earth, even with a band of iron and brass, and the tender grass of the field, and let it be wet with the dew of heaven, and let his portion be with the beasts of the field, till 7 times pass over. This is the interpretation, O king, and this is the decree of the Most High, which is come upon my Lord, the king, that they shall drive thee from men's, and thy dwelling shall be with the beasts of the field, and they shall make thee to eat grass as oxen, and they shall wet thee with the dew of heaven, and 7 times shall pass over thee, till thou knowest that the Most High ruleth in the kingdom of men, and giveth it to whomsoever he will. And whereas they command to leave the stump of the tree roots, thy kingdom shall be sure unto thee, after that thou shalt have known that the heaven do rule. Wherefore, O king, let my counsel be accepted unto thee, and break off thy sin by righteousness, and thy iniquity by showing mercy to the poor, if it may be a